The thought didn't arrive loudly. It slipped in quietly. It said, "Don't trust this moment." Nothing around you changed. The room stayed the same. The people stayed the same. The situation stayed normal. But something inside you tightened. Your body reacted before you could question it. Breathing slowed, attention narrowed, a sense of danger appeared without explanation. The thought didn't explain itself. It didn't need to. You believed it. And the moment belief happened, reality inside you shifted. This is how control is lost. Silently. Thoughts don't announce themselves as thoughts. They arrive as conclusions. They don't say, "I might be wrong." They say, "This is how it is. You're about to fail. They're judging you. This will end badly." No evidence is required. No proof is requested. The mind speaks and the body obeys. Your nervous system doesn't wait to verify. It reacts to belief. Heart rate changes. Muscles prepare. Focus collapses inward. The threat feels real, even when nothing has happened yet. Psychology shows that the brain does not respond to reality. It responds to interpretation. And interpretation is written by thought. This is where most people never look. They assume thinking is neutral. They assume thoughts are personal. They assume the voice in their head is telling the truth because it sounds like them. Same tone, same language, same memories. But that familiarity is exactly what makes it dangerous. Thoughts are not created by choice. They emerge automatically, shaped by conditioning, repetition, emotion, and memory. A single past embarrassment can replay forever. A single rejection can become a lifelong warning signal. A single failure can infect every future decision. The mind doesn't update these files, it reuses them again and again and again, each time with new urgency. You remember what happened last time? Don't risk it. Stay alert. And because the voice feels internal, you obey, not realizing you're responding to mental noise, not reality. This is why fear often appears before danger, why shame arises without wrongdoing, why anxiety exists with no clear cause. The body reacts first. Reason arrives later. Oh, if it arrives at all. A thought predicts disaster. The body enters defense. Behavior shifts toward avoidance. Later, when nothing happens, the mind claims success. "See, I protected Amayudimim," but protection was never tested. The mind doesn't care. Its job is not truth. Its job is survival. And survival prefers false alarms over missed threats. This is how thoughts gain authority. Not because they're correct, but because they repeat. Repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity feels safe. Safety feels like truth. So thoughts become identity. I overthink. I'm not confident. I always ruin things. These are not discoveries. They are habits mistaken for facts. And habits feel convincing because they're consistent. But consistency is not accuracy. At some point, something strange happens. A thought appears, and for the first time, you hesitate. Not because the thought is unclear, but because something feels off. The sentence is familiar. The fear is familiar. The emotional reaction is familiar. Too familiar. You've heard this before. Hundreds of times, in different situations, with different details. Same message, same outcome. This realization creates a crack. You don't fight the thought. You don't argue with it. You just notice it. And that pause feels unsettling because the mind expects obedience. Psychology calls this moment cognitive separation, when awareness detaches from mental content. The thought doesn't disappear. The emotion still rises. But something has changed. The thought is now seen, and what is seen loses absolute power. The mind reacts immediately. It increases intensity. Thoughts become louder, more urgent, more dramatic. This is serious. You're being careless. You need to decide now. But now you notice something else. These thoughts contradict each other. One says you're weak. Another says you're dangerous. One says act now. Another says retreat. If these thoughts were truth, they wouldn't conflict. They wouldn't exaggerate. They wouldn't panic. They would be precise. But they're not. They are reactions, not reality. Psychology explains this through the brain's default narrative system, a mechanism designed to maintain identity and predict outcomes. This system doesn't verify information. It protects the story, your story, the version of you it recognizes. Change threatens that system because change means uncertainty, and uncertainty feels like danger. So the mind resists. It says, if you stop believing me, who are you? But that question exposes the illusion. If you can hear a thought, you cannot be the thought. If you can observe fear, you are not fear. Observation requires distance, and distance changes everything. Emotion still appears, but it no longer defines behavior. Fear becomes sensation. Doubt becomes noise. Anxiety becomes movement in the body, not commands. You stop reacting instantly. You stop defending imagined futures. You stop rehearsing explanations. Externally, nothing dramatic happens. Internally, control begins to return. You pause before responding. You allow silence. You let uncertainty exist. And something unexpected follows. People respond differently because they are used to predictable reactions, predictable fear, predictable defensiveness, predictable insecurity. When those reactions don't appear, the script breaks. Silence replaces justification. Stillness replaces urgency. Psychology shows that individuals who detach from their thoughts become harder to manipulate. Fear-based pressure weakens. Guilt loses leverage. Social control fades because manipulation requires belief, and belief is no longer automatic. Thoughts still arrive. They still comment. They still warn, but now they pass. Like background noise, like static, reality no longer bends around internal stories. Behavior responds to what is happening, not what is predicted. This is not peace yet. It's not freedom yet. It's awareness beginning to wake up. And once awareness wakes up, the mind never regains full control again. The thoughts still arrive, sharp and insistent. You should act. You are behind. You will fail. But now something inside you observes. You notice the urgency, the contradictions, the pressure. You pause. You breathe. You simply watch. The mind expects automatic obedience, but you don't comply. Your body relaxes slightly. The heart still races, but it is no longer in command. Muscles remain tense but aware. The nervous system begins to recalibrate. You are no longer at the mercy of prediction. Thoughts comment. They do not control. Fear appears, but it is a signal, not a command. Doubt whispers, but it is information, not law. The familiar loops repeat, but each repetition is weaker. Each alarm is met with awareness. You begin to act from reality, not reaction. You speak, you move, you choose, not because the mind demands it, but because the present moment allows it. Every instinct to defend, justify, or escape loses authority. This is the power of observation. This is the moment where control shifts back. Behavior aligns with what is true, not what is imagined. Others may react predictably, but you remain unmoved. The world tests you. You respond consciously. Manipulation fails. Pressure loses its grip. Belief is no longer automatic. And in that space, you find freedom. Thoughts still arrive, but they pass like clouds. You remain grounded, aware, sovereign. Silence is no longer absence. It is strength. Stillness is no longer emptiness. It is control. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer. Awareness is freedom. Live consciously, act intentionally, and reclaim your mind.